Today, we're in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon. Portland lies in the shadow of Mount Hood and features the beautiful Columbia River Gorge. Trail rides and hiking we'll need to explore on another trip. Today, we're on the Banks-Vernonia State Trail. This paved trail is 23.2 miles long, and most of the route consists of an 8-foot wide bike trail. We start this ride at the restored Buxton Trestle, which is about mile 6. This trestle curves 735 feet through the trees and 80 feet off the ground. Once we leave the trestle, we'll start to climb at a 2 to 5% grade for the next 5.2 miles until we reach the high point of the trail at Top Hill. This is a total elevation change of about 600 feet. From the Buxton trailhead, we have a steady climb of at least 3.5 miles to get to the Stub Stewart State Park, or at least where the trail crosses through the park. It's not the worst grade, but it certainly takes a little bit of pedaling, and it's steady. There is no break. It was a Sunday when we rode this trail, so it was a pretty busy place, and you had to be careful and try not to go too fast going down the hills, and then of course, you're chugging up the hills. We are standing at the intersection of the Banks-Vernonia Trail, where it cuts through the way into Stub Stewart State Park, which makes it really handy if you want to camp here. We'll show you more about camping later on. It's about 7 miles toward Banks, and I think 11 or 12 miles toward Vernonia.
It's just ridiculous. These people going downhill, they gotta be going 30 miles an hour. And the corners, if anybody's walking side by side talking, they're dead.
It's important to keep an eye out for other bikers on this trail, particularly the ones going downhill. This doesn't look like it was as close as it was, but it was pretty close. Just before the Top Hill trailhead at mile 12, the route descends into short, steep switchbacks. And yeah, I know the sign I just showed you said walk your bike, but I don't know how you'd walk your bike down this. That seems super dangerous to me. And of course, what goes down must go up. So once we got to the bottom, we had to take switchbacks and get right back up to the top again. I have to hand it to this guy for getting up this hill with a fully loaded bike, and I was so glad I had an e-bike. But now you've probably figured out this isn't your normal rail trail. I have never been up and down as many hills on any trail other than the one in the Olympic Peninsula until we got on this one. And they are pretty steep climbs. Not quite sure how the railroad went through here. There must have been trestles that don't exist, and then these switchbacks replaced it. I'm not really sure. The former railroad corridor, once part of the Spokane, Portland, and Seattle Railway, hauled timber from mills in Vernonia to Portland, beginning in the 1920s until 1957. For 5 years during the 1960s, the line was used for passenger excursions. The line was ripped up during the early 1970s, and soon after the state purchased the line and nearly 20 years later converted it into today's Banks-Vernonia State Trail. This was our first day in a state park, and we were totally impressed. There was so much more room than the traditional places we'd stayed. We wish she'd stayed longer. Our camp spot is probably the most luxurious one we've had yet, because we have a ton of space to spread out around the corner. And nobody near us. Our round trip ride was about 25 miles. We hope you enjoyed it, and see you again soon.